kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
From Nashville, Tennessee, the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series is ready to get the 2023-2024 season underway and turn up the heat on these cold winter nights. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, where since 1904, this half-mile track has been the heartbeat of racing in the Volunteer State. This season, you'll hear names and see the incredible racing of these drivers who are ready to do-si-do their way to victory lane in the Music City. Tonight's race is dedicated to longtime sponsor, crew member, car owner, and most of all, friend, Greg Freeman. Greg passed away last February after fighting a rare form of cancer, and Greg never met a person that wasn't his friend. Tonight, we race for him. We miss you, Greg. So as we get ready, I'd like to introduce myself, Dave Riegel, here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth as the voice of AllProSim Winter Challenge Series, where I'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And folks, I am glad to have you in with us tonight, as we are just about there on time, as practice has been going on for well over an hour and nearly 50 minutes since this session opened up. Taking a look right now at fastest on the racetrack, Scotty Gardner here in the number 113. Looks like he's showing us the 9 tonight. Going to be a little bit different as things get ready to rock and roll here. Qualifying going to be the top 20, which will go straight to the feature event tonight. Then they're going to have a series of heats where the top 8 out of those heats will also go to the feature, and then the feature will be 125 laps, inverting the top 10. And of course, we will get all of that to you right here on SRM. Glad to have AllProSim with us once again as we take a look at our race conditions tonight during qualifying. 81 degrees here in the stands tonight in Nashville, Tennessee, as everybody getting themselves waddled on into their seats here in the grandstand. 84 degrees the track temperature, so plenty of grip here for these late model stock cars as we get ready to rock. Taking a look right now at Scotty Gardner here as he's getting ready to get himself qualified in, as well as Ed Papano, who's already out on his opening lap as he crosses the start-finish line. He's going to get ready to lay down that first lap time. We can see him bouncing through 1 and 2 and nearly, as he does, hit the wall coming out of 2 and onto the backstretch, down through 3 and 4. Again, a rough transition, but not near as bad as 1 and 2 as Papano crosses the start-finish line. Looks like Ed is going to go negated as he had rubbed the wall. So now we're going to see that second lap be for all the marbles here for Ed Papano in the 110 machine. As he rolls it out of turn 4, crossing the start-finish line, Ed is going to lay down 11th fastest. Danny Mann right now fast on the timing line. Gary Eschen in the 23. That kind of looks like a 23 XL XI Toyota Camry. That's quite an interesting paint scheme there. I got to give it to him as the 23 XI machine hauls it down onto pit road. Brian Hacker going 4th fastest right now. Looks like Brett McCoy having gone 5th. So we're going to see the top 20 here, which right now the cut line would be Kevin Knutson, as he has just been cut. Ed Papano being shuffled backwards. As right now, there are better than 50 drivers qualifying for tonight's race. And as I had said, that top 20 going to automatically qualify for the feature. Want to welcome everybody in tonight to the YouTube.com live chat. Let us know who you're pulling for tonight. Let us know in the live chat, of course, over on Facebook as well. Want to make sure that everybody's got a little cheering section going on tonight as we're simulcasting between YouTube and Facebook. Glad to have everybody with us. Jonathan Leach here, giving us the old woo, as if he's the nature boy, Ric Flair, down in our YouTube live chat. Andrew McLaughlin wrapping up his qualifying effort in the Miller Light machine, that number 26, getting it done right now in 26, so he will not be making the feature just that easy, as Trent Smith just laid down an 18.55 second lap to go 10th fastest, as it seems like 43 drivers have already qualified this evening. Make that 44, as we're waiting to see Rob Nelson here on his opening lap, see what he can do in the 99. And I'll tell you what, these late model stock cars are a handful, folks. I mean, you know, you might think, oh, well, listen, this isn't a cup car. This isn't near as difficult. But watch this driver's hands. Watch Brian Sierkeski work through. There is a lot of transition here from 1 and 2 down the backstretch, as I had mentioned. And I'll tell you what, if this young man is driving with a direct drive wheel, he's ready to have his arms rip off going down the backstretch as he crosses the start-finish line. Let's see if we can get a hold of his dashboard here in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as he brings it to a steady halt. Matt Urban, though, 115 miles per hour off the backstretch and into 3. He's got a gear all the way down to just about 100 miles per hour He's loose coming out of 3, but Urban going 33rd fastest in our qualifying tonight. So still not able to crack that top 20 as right now Tanner Burge, the newest member of the top 20 gang, going 7th fastest. 5 drivers have yet to finish their qualifying effort. Now make that 3 drivers as we're waiting for Jared Sutherland, Tyler Muller, and Carter Nilsson, as that should put us at about 56 drivers to qualify this evening. And all but these last 3 drivers have qualified. And that's impressive no matter what league you're in. First of all, most leagues on iRacing.com, it feels like you're herding cats, to quote the great Tony Trapasso. And, as you work through each of these series, you start to think, gee, maybe you get 20 drivers tonight. This league tonight has assembled 56 drivers, with just 4 not having gone out yet, as Connor Sutton looks like he is not going to be qualifying, as he just sits idle on pit road. And it looks like Jared Sutherland, Tyler Muller, and Carter Nilsson also opting not to go out and make an attempt at qualifying. So those drivers, should they still be in the session as Connor Sutton makes a run out here. But as Connor Sutton gets himself wound up, getting out of turn 2 and warming those tires up coming down the backstretch, you think to yourself, gee, it's been a while, since some of these drivers have been out on track. I mean, he had plenty of practice. And as I look through some of these iRatings, I mean, folks, you would be impressed to see. I mean, right now, Brandon Wilkinson, who sits fastest right now, has a Connor Sutton just biting the inside wall as that transition between turns 1 and 2 in the backstretch did not do him any favors. But, Brandon Wilkinson with an iRating of 7,273, impressive. I mean, that has to be, first of all, I know that it's the fastest in this session, or the highest in this session, but probably one of the highest that I've seen on the iRacing.com servers in a long time. As it looks like Sutton going to just kind of hang loose here. Want to welcome everybody in. A couple of viewers over here on Facebook. Of course, on YouTube, let us know who you're pulling for tonight. As, we do want to remember that this is the Greg Freeman Memorial 125. And, Greg Freeman, a huge contributor here to the AllProSim Series. And, we do feel that here at Sim Racing Media, as we lost one of our own this year. So our hearts go out to you. We know that healing process will take a long time, especially when it's, unexpected and not much that you can do as people generally do. So just a few minutes left here in qualifying, as it looks like all but Jared Sutherland, Tyler Muller, Connor Sutton, and Carter Nilsson have laid down those times. So basically 52 drivers have laid down qualifying times here, and like I said, that's impressive at any rate. As we are here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, of course, currently the speed limit is an 18-degree banked paved oval, and a half mile long, or just over a half mile at 0.596 miles. And the inside oval that you can see right here in the foreground of your screen right now, that's actually an even shorter track, which is a quarter mile. So, of course, we see a lot of the Legends cars and things like that. And the track was actually converted to this half-mile paved oval in 1957. And it began to be a NASCAR Series track at the time. And I'll tell you what, when you hear fairgrounds, I mean, for me, coming from Reading, Pennsylvania, we, of course, had the Reading Fairgrounds Raceway, which of course, went extinct before my coming of age or consciousness, really. But, I look here and see some of these names in the All-American 400, which is a super late model stock car race here. I mean, that ran from 1981 up to 2022. And, I mean, you see some incredible names on that list. Chase Elliott won that race in 2013. John Hunter Nemechek in 2014. Daniel Hemrick, Bubba Pollard, all the way up here to Matt Craig in 2021. So Darrell Waltrip back in 1987 won this in the late model series. And, of course, you know, those are some really exciting names to be on a list with, you know, Rusty Wallace in 85. So for these drivers tonight, you know, we're going to see some of them trying to etch their names into history and at the same time try to be giving great honor to, of course, their fallen friend, Greg Freeman. And we cannot stress that enough. As we get things underway, just waiting, as you can see Greg there in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, as we're just waiting for everybody to make sure that they were done with their qualifying run. Looks like last on the leaderboard, and certainly not Mr. Irrelevant, Ty Fredrickson, going to be 53rd in drivers that made an attempt at it tonight. Connor Sutton, after biting that wall coming out of turn 2, going to be just behind him. So we might not see Sutton, Sutherland, or Muller in any of these heat races. That'll have to be kind of a game time decision as qualifying has completed and heat number 1 just getting ready to rock and roll. Going to be a 30-lap heat session here at Nashville Fairgrounds in the AllProSim Winter Heat Challenge Series. This, of course, is race number 1 of the year. You're watching Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal, and this is the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. As my good friend would have loved to have been here, he was a short track freak, to put it nicely, as it looks like we're going to get 33 drivers in this heat. So this heat going to be for basically all the marbles, the top 20 from qualifying automatically being forwarded to the feature. Then the top 8 from this heat going to go to the feature. So 28 cars will make that 125-lap feature. As Josh Nelms, Brent Edmonds, they're going to sit here on the front row. If I can just get their driver details up there on the screen. Nope. And, you know, folks, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a heads up here. Our timing and scoring software that we use does not like heat racing. For reasons I'm not quite sure of. The graphics themselves never really work out well in this particular fashion. We're not sure why. We've, of course, talked to, you know, the development team, and they don't seem to understand why, except that, you know, basically it's reading the entire session, and it sees names on the racetrack, and it sees names basically sitting on the bench. So Josh Nelms and Brent Edmonds going to sit on the front row. Jared Appel and Tyler Jackson going to be featured on row number 2. Row number 3 going to have Christopher Rogers and Jeremy Bingham. Eric White and Michael Berner going to be in row number 4. Kelsey Rogers and Austin Daymore going to be in row number 5. Clayton Story, perhaps related to Austin's story, I'd like to get in touch with him, going to be in row number 6. Carter Nilsson, Matt Urban, Andrew McLaughlin, Garrett Conrath, Ryan Latch, Dylan Roberts, Ed Papineau, Kevin Knutson, Brody Byer, Ryan Smith, Gleason Smith, Caleb Adam, Jaden Dahlberg, Rob Nelson, Kenny Storkson, Carter Stark, Christopher Reardon, Mike Myers, but probably not that Mike Myers, Rick Ward, Steve Wright, and Ty Fredrickson, all out here ready to battle as we get underway. And of course, as I had mentioned, sometimes our graphics program doesn't want to cooperate properly during these heat races, so that'll fix itself once we get to the feature. As right now, the iRacing.com pace car has its lights out. That means that we're going to see it make that left-hand turn. Ladies and gentlemen, grab some popcorn, call a friend, settle in, because it's green flag racing right here at Nashville Fairgrounds. And already a wreck on the backstretch as the caution flag has come out on lap number 1. We're going to see what happened here with Steve Wright. Steve Wright in the 61 Not sure what really transpired here. As, ooh, the 36 of Ty Fredrickson just upended the 61, bringing out this early caution. So we're going to have to rack him, stack him, do it all over again. Gleason Smith coming down pit road. Not sure if he had any damage. We'll take a look here. Doesn't look like he did, as there are a few drivers. The 36, that's Ty Fredrickson right here on pit road, as well as the 7 machine. Of course, that 7 probably not the right paint scheme. So everybody going to have to get back in line, and right now as things go, it's going to be rough as we're here looking at the 26. That's Andrew McLaughlin, currently in 14th, but right behind the iRacing.com official pace truck. Looks like Too Fast For You 20081 is cheering on Brian Sierkeski. Let's see where old Brian is right now, as he may have been automatically sent to the feature, and I believe he is. As Andrew McLaughlin going to have to get around the iRacing.com pace truck, because right now he's being scored in 12th. He didn't lose a lap, but of course timing and scoring doing what it wants to. This is kind of the downside, if you will, to digital racing, that's for sure. As we have gone back, green flag racing. No, we haven't. They are getting their act together, so to speak. Brent Edmonds going to line up behind the iRacing.com pace truck. Always something, isn't it? Well, that'll give us a chance to get to know one another here on the AllProSim Winter Heat Challenge Series. Dave Regal here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, just outside the city of brotherly love in Norristown, Pennsylvania. Of course, a lifelong PA resident. Of course, that's how you can tell if somebody's been from Pennsylvania for more than 10 years, if not their entire lives, when you are from PA. As it looks like, my goodness, we have paced now for 7 laps. You'll have to forgive that graphic at the top of the screen, as it will not get out of the way. The iRacing.com pace truck leads us past the start-finish line. We're going to step aside real quick for these messages.
Imagine a theater experience so real, you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D Cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
And we are back here on lap number 9. We're going to have to go radio style for the remainder of this event, as Josh Nelms going to lead us out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. He's currently chasing down Christopher Reardon, as Brent Edmonds just about a half second behind, trying to chase Nelms down. And I'll tell you what, Edmonds must not be spending a whole lot of time in those public lobbies, as he is giving the business right now to Josh Nelms. Just behind him, though, is basically a pack of angry hornets, if you will. So we're going to go here to our drone cam, and we can see everything here from Jeremy Bingham, Eric White, and Kelsey Rogers, as it looks like Bingham getting ready. 1-6 going after the other. That's Eric White. Oh, being turned all of a sudden by the 34. That's not Rick Ward. As that will bring out the caution flag again. Josh Nelms still our race leader. Looks like we haven't shuffled too many things up tonight. So hopefully we can get this this caution cleared quickly. As we'll see if we can get some of this wreck underway. As we're looking to see what happened here with the 57. As it looks like he just slowed down. It's going to be Nelms, Edmonds, Appel, Rogers, Jackson, Bingham, Rogers, McLaughlin, Latch, and Urban, your top 10. There's Matt Urban in the 48. A little bit of a connection issue here just behind, let's see, Tyler Jackson from Rockford, Illinois. Perhaps a fan of the Rockford Peaches. It looks like Jackson having some connection issues here. I do like that paint scheme. Let's see if we can zoom in on that bad boy. Matt Jewell Body and Speed Shop. Glad to have everybody with us here. Looks like Callie Yesman's retracted a message, but Julie Hinrichs is watching from Rockton, Illinois. So glad to have you with us, Julie. As we've got some folks watching from all over the world tonight on 2 different platforms. Of course, always glad to have you folks with us, because without you at home, there'd be no purpose to me sitting here in this broadcast booth as the iRacing.com pace truck dives down pit road. Brent Edmonds and Josh Nelms with control of the field. And wow, out of nowhere, the 86 of Kevin Knutson just goes spinning uncontrollably. Not sure if that's going to well, if that didn't bring out the caution, I don't know what will. Let's run this back and see what happened. As well, that's not any way to try to restart here, as you were as you're pretty far back in the field. Let's take a look here at that 86, this blue and yellow machine right here in the middle of your screen. Just as the green flag flies, Knutson gets a push, from the 42 in the Sundrop machine, and just spins him around. And of course, that's not how you want to get underway here on what should be about the third restart of the evening. But I'll tell you what, folks, I mean, this is a big field that's out here right now. As, as far as I can tell, looks like we still have 26 drivers on track. And right now it's Nelms, Edmonds, Rogers, Appel, Bingham, Jackson, Rogers, McLaughlin, Urban, and Latch. Ryan Latch here in the 018 machine. As we're ready to go back, green flag racing once again. Josh Nelms taking off. Watching the 26 of Andrew McLaughlin holding the high side over Matt Urban. Oh, they tangle and they hit on the backstretch. As Urban cannot be happy with that, the caution flag flies again. Let's take a look back and see what that might have been. And we're going to see the 26 here working. That's Matt Urban on the low side. The 26 just collects him and they spin helplessly down the backstretch. Everybody trying to play avoid the car. As Matt Urban gets it all tangled up. We'll take another look at this maybe here from the nose. At least from the gyro cam here, we're going to see that contact. And we can see Urban just hanging on to the wheel, trying to keep it moving forward. He almost does a pirouette and just manages to keep it moving forward. Josh Nelms going to have control of the field again as Brent Edmonds, Jared Appel, and Christopher Rogers going to make up that top four. We're going to be single file for the restart as we hit the green flag once again. 22 laps in the books. Counting down now as drivers getting back underway. The 34 getting a run here. That's the one, technically that's the 136. But oh, they hook, they turn. And everybody goes spinning once again. Let's see what happened here as timing and scoring just lost its mind once again. As we're going to watch the 34, that's Ryan Latch, just hook right in front. Oh. Sometimes I swear it's like when my 5-year-old has cars on the floor and just runs them into one another. In fact, we're going to see if we can just maybe see this from yet another perspective, if you will. In fact, let's see if we can get this from right over top in our chopper cam. Get to do chopper. As we're going to see the 34 once again peek here to the inside, and the 8 just comes down and cuts the nose off. And boom goes the proverbial dynamite. Drivers getting ready to rack them, stack them, and do it all over again. The iRacing.com official pace truck lights done doing their flashing routine. Josh Nelms going to have control of the field once again, bringing in tow Jared Appel, Brent Edmonds, and Christopher Rogers. 1, 2, 3, 4 they go as the green flag waves. Nelms hauls it down into 1 and 2. He's going to be followed by Jared Appel in the 51. As we're going to keep a close eye here on the 6, that's Jeremy Bingham. And Ty Fredrickson in that 9. Whoa, there they go. The 48 of Matt Urban again. As the caution flies again here on lap 27. And we'll see this once again right here. And it looks like he just had the rear end step out coming out of 4 and couldn't re-corral it. Oh! And the High Rock Vodka Chevrolet does the, finishes him off and sends him to pit road on the tow truck. Once again, going to be Josh Nelms, Jared Appel, Brent Edmonds, Christopher Rogers and Jeremy Bingham, your top 5. Jeremy Bingham in that MGD throwback paint scheme. I do like that black and gold. I may not be an MGD consumer, but I'll tell you what, that's always exciting, as looks like we are going to have a warm-up session here getting ready for our feature. So as we get ready to rock for that, we're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And a welcome back to everyone here at Nashville Fairgrounds Raceway as the Greg Freeman Memorial 125 feature is about to get underway here. 82 degrees, the track cooled off too here. So plenty more grip in it as 28 drivers about to take the green flag when we get going here. Looks like our pole sitter going to be Gary Eschen as we get that beautiful bean footage up here. In the number 23 Chevrolet Camaro, he's going to sit on the pole, joined on the outside by DJ Smith. Tristan Swanson going to be on the inside of row number 2 with Tanner Burge, his partner on the outside of row number 2. Danny Mann and Jackson Lewis going to be featured on row number 3, while Scotty Gardner and Derek Kraus going to be in row number 4. Evan Hassler and Brandon Wilkinson going to be rounding out your top 10, as Alex Papini, chief cook and bottle washer here in the AllProSim Series, going to be starting in 12th position alongside of Brian Sire-Keski. Trent Smith and Brian Hacker going to be featured in row number 7, while Brett McCoy and Corey Rogers going to be in row number 8. Row number 9 going to be featuring Anthony Donta and Michael Ostiak, as Randy Sargent and Jared Appel going to be in row number 10. Row number 11 going to be Kevin Dillon and Christopher Rogers, while Josh Nelms and Brent Edwards going to be in row number 12. Ty Fredrickson and Jeremy Bingham going to start 25th and 26th, while Carter Nilsson going to start on the inside of row number 14, and starting shotgun on the field in the number 75 High Rock Vodka Chevrolet Camaro going to be Brody Byer. 28 drivers scheduled to take the green flag, 125 laps the scheduled distance, as the iRacing.com pace truck gets ready to lead us here on the final parade lap around the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Dave Regal here at the microphone in the Tony Trapasso Memorial broadcast booth. Glad to have all of you with us here on Sim Racing Media this evening. Let us know in the youtube.com live chat who you're pulling for tonight. Julie Hinrichs cheering on Alex Papini from Rockton, Illinois. Not sure what Kelly Yesman's retracted, but we're ready to rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, grab some popcorn, call a friend, settle in. We're green flag racing here at Nashville Fairgrounds. And somehow already under caution on lap number 1. Looks like Alex Papini may have had a crash here. Let's take a look at the 39. Watching the 39 here. Oh, an accordion in front of him, and he gets turned around by the 2 machine. And that 2 machine, not the proper number, but Alex Papini being punted early after the accordion got him. So as everybody gets ready to rack them, stack them, and do it all over again, want to welcome you once again inside the Tony Trapasso Memorial broadcast booth, as we will be with you every step of the way this season, from, of course, here on week number 1 all the way through this race season. Of course, the schedule just starting tonight here in the All-Pro 2023-2024 Winter Challenge Series. Next week we'll be at Southern National for a 125-lap feature. Matt Urban going to be our sponsor for that evening. Then Thursday, December 28th at Iowa Speedway for the Mailman 100. January 4th at Irwindale at the Inner for Twin 75, so that's going to be exciting, as we're already here on lap number 4 in the books. Just trying to get everybody figured out here is it looks like Scotty Gardner going to be lined up right now behind the iRacing.com pace truck. Scotty Gardner featuring that 40th anniversary of Hooters on the number 9 machine. Of course, a tip of the helmet there to Chase Elliott, who, as I had mentioned earlier, was a winner here at Nashville Fairgrounds just a few years ago, back in 2013, basically a decade ago. Can you imagine? Chase Elliott has been around in this sport for a decade. And, of course, some of the weekly drivers that used to race here on the regular. Check out some of these names. Andy Kirby, Cuckoo Marlin, of course, the father of Sterling Marlin. Cuckoo Marlin, the 4-time track champion, while Sterling Marlin, 3-time track champion, and was a former weekly competitor. Jimmy Means, of course, Jeremy Mayfield, Chase Montgomery, and DW, Darrell Waltrip, a 2-time track champion here in Tennessee. So some really cool names to think about. And, you know, this is kind of an interesting thing. Of course, we know Nashville Fairgrounds Raceway Speedway from here on iRacing.com, but did you know that this track was used in the Grand National Expansion Pack for Sierra's NASCAR Racing 2 before it was converted for use in NASCAR 99, and then, of course, NASCAR 4, 2002, and 2003. And, of course, iRacing scanned this track back in October of 2019 and added it onto the service back in 2020 for the Season 4 release back in September of 2020. Nashville Fairgrounds also going to be part of the SRX Series once again. The Cup Series held at least one race a year here from 1958 to 84, the Pepsi 420 and the Coors 420. So definitely some big names back in the day. DJ Smith going to have control of the field in the 08. He's just ahead of Gary Eschen as the green flag waves, and we're back underway on lap number 9. Gary Eschen looking for an open door. He's going to get right underneath DJ Smith, as Smith going to have to go to the outside. That's going to give the advantage to Eschen, who's going to roll out of turn number 4 and secure away the lead. Meanwhile, back in the 35, Tanner Burge being challenged now by Jackson Lewis, as Lewis looking for an open door again here on the opening week, lap number 9, as just about everybody battling for real estate here. The 56 of Brandon Wilkinson trying to overtake Danny Mann in the 10, as Mann not going to be giving up easy tonight, as once the 56 come on, he just needs to swing here to the outside. We can see he's just at that right rear quarter panel, almost able to secure that position away from the 10. He's going to need some help. Oh, they nearly made contact as he was shoved down the front stretch by Danny Mann, and that will put Brandon Wilkinson in the 7th position, chasing down Derek Kraus. Danny Mann now having to do some battle here with Scotty Gardner. So we're going to see if we can get timing and scoring to maybe show up here in the timing tower. There it is. Going to have to do a little bit of a logo shuffle here. Bear with me, folks. Now you can follow along with all the fun here on lap number 14 of 125. Gary Eschen, your race leader. He's building a lead now, about a quarter of a second over DJ Smith as they lead Tanner Burge. We switch on back here as there is not a whole lot of room right now between Brian Hacker and Corey Rogers, as Rogers in the 17 holding off Hacker. And at the same time, it's almost like he's trying to open up a battle on two fronts here, trying to chase down Trent Smith. At this point, it seems like Rogers maybe want to try to focus on Smith and let Hacker battle with you behind and try to overcome you. Meanwhile, Brandon Wilkinson still trying to hold off Scotty Gardner in this battle for 7th position. See if we can get the battles box running here in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. That all of a sudden opens the door for Evan Hassler working that left rear tire of Scotty Gardner. James Newman calling it out for Eschen for the win, and right now Eschen is well positioned to get that checkered flag, but he's got a very long way to go, does Gary, here on lap number 19 of 125. Side by side they go. That's the 3 machine of Trent Smith working the inside of... Wow! As it looks like they're trying to hang the 26 out to dry. 26 driven by Michael Ostiak. I'm sorry, Brian Hacker. And that Powell Peralta, number 26. Now maybe a little bit opening up here on the racetrack. That's going to open the door for Trent Smith to chase down Brian Sire-Keski, as Keski in that DRW number 3 Chevrolet Camaro trying to get up here to the 81. And the FilterTime.com driven by Sire-Keski, as he is now side by side with Brandon Wilkinson. Wilkinson bleeding the spot away, but maybe he's got a strategy here where he's going to hold on to that just a little bit longer, or maybe allow the 81 to try to burn up his equipment a little bit here. As we have now had the second caution of the evening. Let's see what just happened here. Maybe somewhere in and around Jared Appel. Here in the 51. They're going to roll out of turn 4. We're looking to see what happened here with the 51. Oh, he just gets turned. Let's run that back once. As we say here in Pennsylvania. Taking a look right here at the 51. Oh boy. They're just going to make contact and he's going to get spun around and collect about 4, 5, 6, 7 other cars. Several drivers coming down pit road. Tristan Swanson, Danny Mann, Brian Sire-Keski, Josh Nelms, Ty Fredrickson, Kevin Dillon, Jeremy Bingham, Randy Sargent, and Brent Edmonds, all down pit road. As it looks like this recent time going to be Fredrickson and Keski that come in as a result of this wreck. Working lap number 27 in the second caution of the evening here in the AllProSim Winter Heat Challenge Series. Of course, this is the Greg Freeman Memorial 125 on week number 1. Welcome everybody into the YouTube.com live chat. You're more than welcome to let us know who you're pulling for, what you're paying attention to tonight here at Nashville Fairgrounds Raceway. And, of course, here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, we'll be with you every step as the iRacing.com pace car lights are out. That means that official pace truck going to get ready to make that hard left turn down pit road as he leads Tanner Burge and Gary Eschen. Pace truck driving down pit road. Gary Eschen with his finger on the button hits the loud pedal and we're back underway. 2x2, please, as if we're all going to the arc. Everybody making it past the start-finish line this time around as Eschen leads us out and down the backstretch. You don't really appreciate how fast these drivers are going until you can see them at speed passing that standstill camera. And I'll tell you what, these guys are driving their hearts out right now for Greg Freeman as we see him here in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. And of course, as I mentioned before, and I would be remiss to not do so once again, want to make sure that we highlight that for sure as you know, this race is dedicated to the longtime sponsor, crew member, car owner, and most of all, friend, Greg Freeman, as he passed away last February after fighting a rare form of cancer. And Greg, a very friendly guy. He never met a person that wasn't his friend. And tonight, these drivers are out here racing in his memory. And so far, so good as far as excitement goes. Taking a look right now at Jackson Lewis holding off Corey Rogers on the inside as he's got a battle open up on both fronts. On the high side, going to be Evan Hassler here in the 38. And we are under caution once again as Brian Sierkeski may have been wrapped up in something he didn't want to be. Going to keep an eye right on the 81 here as he steps out and down the backstretch. And we may see him biting the bullet here at Calamity Corner. Oh, no, that was the 2 car that had spun in front of him. Going to try to find where the 2 car was and is supposed to be. That was Brian Hacker. Let's run this back and see what happened with Mr. Hacker. Coming out of turn 4, Hacker just has that rear end come around. And as he spins up the racetrack, Brian not able to avoid him as that's going to force him into that inner wall and really crinkle-dinkle the front of the 81. Welcome back to Nashville Fairgrounds, where the AllProSim Winter Heat Challenge Series is working. Lap number 41 of 125 in the feature event tonight. Gary Eschen, your race leader, followed by Derek Kraus. As 1, 2, 3, 4, that front four, you can throw a blanket over them for now, as they have just decided to try to line up and get away from the mayhem that is behind, as Corey Rogers doing battle with DJ Smith, as they are side by side for 2 rows, nearly 3, as this angry hornet's nest just getting themselves all lined up here on lap number 42. Dave Riegel in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth with you tonight, as we're taking a look right now at Michael Ostiak in the 18, just kind of waiting patiently for Evan Hassler or Brandon Wilkinson to make a mistake. Unfortunately, I think that may be a little dangerous for him, where he is as close as he is behind that battle. Christopher Rogers here in the 00, just behind that angry hornet's nest on lap 44. Kind of in a good position right now, as he's going to hang out back there, while DJ Smith trying desperately to get into that low groove. We can see that that's where most of the speed is, and all of a sudden the 7 of Jackson Lewis spinning helplessly down the front stretch. As we're going to see just what happened there, we'll run this back. As I've got to pull that up right here. We can see Jackson Lewis coming down the back chute and into turn number 3. He's working just underneath the 35. Makes a little bit of contact coming out of 4, and boom goes the proverbial dynamite, as that's going to bring out another caution this evening on lap number 45. The iRacing.com pace truck getting plenty of mileage tonight under caution, as Gary Eschen and Derek Kraus going to be lined up behind him. Single file for the time being, as everybody gets shuffled around. Brandon Wilkinson, Corey Rogers, Josh Nelms, and Jackson Lewis all down pit road for repairs. As we take a look here at Josh Nelms in the 27, kind of a throwback there to the great one, Kevin Harvick, as of course Kevin Harvick made that white number 20, well then 29 Chevrolet Lumina back in the day. No, it wasn't a Lumina, that was a Monte Carlo back in the day. Of course, after the passing of the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt, back in 2001. You'll have to forgive me, folks, for the radio silence. Sometimes the real world steps in and gets in the way. Of course, you know, we don't do this as our full-time job. Sometimes the day job steps in and takes over for just a moment. Derek Kraus going to be our race leader along with Gary Eschen on the front row. Of course, there's that number 29, made famous by Kevin Harvick. Side by side they go out of turn number 4. The green flag waves, and Gary Eschen has control of the field. Eschen running down the front stretch into turn 1. He's followed by Derek Kraus in the 29. Of course, Kraus being scored as the 43. So we're going to get that timing tower back up. Seems like that's going to be the only way that we can run this. And listen to these cars roar through the race as the 00 Christopher Rogers getting ready to do battle right now with Tristan Swanson in the 91. The 00 of Christopher Rogers and Carter Nilsson in the 4 are side by side going down the front stretch. Nilsson hauls it down underneath and holds it together, but we are going to have for sure some type of carnage open up in that neck of the woods, you mark my words, as Evan Hassler in the 38 chases down Scotty Gardner in the number 9 Hooters machine as they bounce out of turn number 2. That bounce is something violent. We're going to see that this time by. Going to see if we can get right here on the gyro cam along with Evan Hassler as he pegs out that tachometer. And watch this thing bounce, and he's got to hold on to that thing and keep it moving, does Hassler. And he's doing a fantastic job with it, all things considered. Caution number 5 as Trent Smith has wrapped one up here. We'll see what happened with Trent in the 3. Trent bouncing out of turn 2, going down the backstretch and into 3, looking to see what may have brought this out. Looks like they were side by side in front of the nope. That rear end coming out of turn 4 just brings it all the way around. Fortunately, he stands on the brake and hits the tow button to get out of the line of fire as fast as he possibly can, as Gary Eschen, still our race leader here in the 23XI Toyota Camry. And you know, folks, let's take a closer look at this Camry, because I'll tell you what, it's just good looking. It really is. He's managed to get everything the way that it's supposed to be for a Toyota Camry. He's got that perfect font for the 23. It's just a good-looking paint scheme. It really is. That contrast between the black, the pink, and the white, it pops. It really pops. So kudos to Gary Eschen, another good paint scheme here. Michael Ostiak in the iRacing machine. Of course, this not necessarily a stock paint scheme, but you know what? This is our sport, and he is doing a great job representing that. Currently running in 3rd position is for Ostiak. And I remember that name very well from last season's Winter Heat Series, so hopefully we'll see more of the same driving out of Ostiak, as he is up 17 positions running in 3rd right now. Carter Nilsson and Brody Byer each up 19. They're the biggest movers of the night. Cody John, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you, sir. Always a privilege to be able to sit up here in the broadcast booth. Like I said, you'll just have to forgive me. Sometimes the real world gets in the way, and I'm trying to handle something at the real-life job, so to speak. Charles Dorsett cheering on Alex Papini, asking him to do some of that great driving, and let's get to the front. Let's see if we can find Papini here, as it looks like he's still out on the racetrack, down a few laps. Looks like he should be down about 3 laps. Running in 21st at the moment. Not a whole lot of damage there in the 39. So he's obviously got that all taken care of. So Papini, with just about getting through that halfway point here on lap number 63, he still has a long way to go and could absolutely very well wind up in the top 10 if we keep going this way, as he's only down 2 laps. As everybody coming down the backstretch gets themselves all lined back up. The iRacing.com pace truck ready to rock and roll as the lights are out. Gary Eschen and Derek Kraus getting ready to lead us back to green. Gary Eschen stands on the loud pedal, and we're back underway. He's chased down by Derek Kraus and Michael Ostiak. Those top 3 you can throw a blanket over. They're going to be battling it out all by their lonesomes up there as DJ Smith works the low side of Anthony Donta. Donta trying to hold him off as they make contact, but keep it moving forward as the 5'10 of Donta tries to make himself 4 wide to keep DJ Smith behind him. Brody Byer, meanwhile, in the number 75 High Rock Vodka Chevrolet, trying to get in line behind Tristan Swanson, maybe get ready to start picking some of these drivers off one at a time. Tristan Swanson holding him off for the time being. We take a look here through the field as Gary Eschen still leads us, and he's got about a 17th of a second lead over top of Derek Kraus. As we watch here, nearly making contact is Danny Mann and Evan Hassler. As Hassler on the high side, Danny Mann and now Ty Fredrickson getting involved here as they do a little bit of rubbing. And as track champion Darrell Waltrip would have said, rubbing is racing, that's for sure. As we keep a close eye now on Brody Byer. This little hornet's nest here may produce our next caution as everybody finally gets themselves single file. And believe me, folks, that's a good way to get around this piece. Get single file and get ready to start picking drivers off one at a time. You don't really have the ability to see what that driver's doing in front of you if you're battling them out side by side. If you can see a weakness from sitting behind them in that bumper, or at that bumper, I should say, you're going to see, hey, maybe he's giving me a little bit of an inch down here on the low side, or maybe I've got a little bit more of a run here on the high side. You can't tell that when you're side by side. You want to set yourself up to pounce like a lion on that gazelle down in the desert of Africa. As Brody Byer still trying to hold off Evan Hassler. They've gone single file now, so we're going to start to see Evan Hassler make that progress up here as we're going to pull the battle box up in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Here on lap number 73, just over 50 to go now in the AllProSim Winter Series here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. All of a sudden, making contact as Danny Mann trying to be just ahead here. Evan Hassler getting around Brody Byer. They managed to keep it clean, and that's important in this league And I'll tell you what, realistically, that's important no matter what level, what series, what league you're in, whether real life or you know, here in the sim world. Oh, there it is! The 75 turns the 10. And my goodness, Danny Mann cannot be a happy camper. Let's take a look back and see what happened here, as we're going to see Danny Mann drift up the racetrack and just get collected by Bayer in the High Rock Vodka Chevrolet. Of course, maybe a quick shot of vodka to calm the nerves down after that, because I'll tell you what, Brody Bayer in that particular instance had to be having a near Code Brown moment, that's for sure. We'll run this back and we'll take a look right from the cockpit of Bayer. And we're going to see exactly what he saw here. And just collecting the 10. And fortunately, the 10 spins out of the way. Bayer stays high against the wall, takes a quick shot of that High Rock Vodka, and gets out of harm's way. So caution number 6 on the evening here at lab number 77. We're going to step aside and pay some bills on Sim Racing Media.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
Welcome back to Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway as we're under caution number 7 for the night here on lap number 98 of 125. Looking for what may have caused this one. Derek Kraus, your race leader, getting lined up behind the official iRacing.com pace truck as he and Gary Eschen going to come down pit road with just about 25 to go, a little bit more than 25 laps to go here. As it's going to be Gary Eschen, Tanner Berg, Evan Hassler, Brandon Wilkinson, Kevin Dillon, Jackson Lewis, and Brian Sierkeski Want to welcome everybody into the YouTube.com live chat. Thank you for making us a part of your evening here on Sim Racing Media. Of course, also simulcasting on Facebook tonight as we have that ability. Dave Regal in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth here on Sim Racing Media as we are here in week number 1 of the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series. Of course, the Greg Freeman 125, Memorial 125. As we've discussed earlier in the evening, tonight's race is dedicated to longtime sponsor, crew member, car owner, and most of all, friend Greg Freeman. Greg passed away in February after fighting a rare form of cancer, and, Greg was a friendly guy. He never met a person that wasn't or didn't become his friend by the end of that conversation. So tonight, these drivers are racing for him, and they miss him for sure. So absolutely privileged to be sitting here in the broadcast booth. As I had said earlier, I do beg your forgiveness for having to step away from the microphone and deal with some real-world problems, as sometimes they just happen to come up and bite us at the least convenient moment. As I'm glad to see all of you watching us here on YouTube. Keep your eyes open, folks, for the Sim Racing Media TikTok page, as that could be coming down the pipeline anytime in the very near future. Of course, we want all of you to, of course, check in with us here on YouTube, but at the same time, also maybe see us in your For You page over on TikTok. Tristan Swanson, currently your race leader, last came down to pit on lap 76, with now 25 to go, according to timing and scoring. So, we're watching right now the fresh tires and machines of Derek Kraus. Brandon Wilkinson coming down pit road. There he goes. Jackson Lewis, Tanner Berg, Kevin Dillon, Evan Hassler, and Christopher Rogers. As Hassler rounding out that group led by Derek Kraus that came down pit road. So we're going to see what some fresh shoes on these machines do. The iRacing.com pace truck lights are out. So with 24 laps to go, the iRacing.com pace car going to make that hard left turn down pit road. Single file is Tristan Swanson with Scotty Gardner. He makes the turn down from the top of turn 4, hits the front stretch, and we're back underway. Anthony Donta running the inside here now, tucking himself right behind Michael Ostiak as Ostiak takes the 18 single file behind Scotty Gardner. You can pretty much throw a blanket over that top 6 while the Hornet's Nest runs here with Gary Eschen and DJ Smith as they go nearly 3 wide out of turn number 4. Oh! And all of a sudden, all kinds of mayhem breaking loose as Derek Kraus bites the big one and spins down the front stretch with 21 to go. We're under caution for the 8th time this evening. As we see what happens, 3 wide down the backstretch, Derek Kraus on the low side. He's got the 23 of Gary Eschen just over top of him, and he comes up right in front of DJ Smith and just spins like a helpless top down that front stretch. Tristan Swanson going to be lined up number 1 behind the iRacing.com official pace truck, followed by Scotty Gardner, Michael Ostiak, Anthony Donta, and Ty Fredrickson, your top 5. "17 laps to go here in the middle of the 8th caution as we pace around Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Looking ahead here on the schedule of the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series. As I mentioned earlier, next week we'll be at Southern National for the 125, followed by Iowa Speedway for the Mailman 100, and then Twin 75s at Irwindale. So that's going to be an exciting short track experience for everybody concerned, that's for sure. As this league going to be featuring the short tracks all season long. And I'll tell you what, the short tracks, they keep things bunched up. 28 cars took the green flag tonight. And at this stage in the game, this is where we want to be. 16 to go. Pace truck dives down pit road, and we're back under green. Tristan Swanson takes the green flag. Crossing the start-finish line, they go single file through about the top 6, with the exception of the 36 of Ty Fredrickson working the underside of Anthony Donta in the 510. Donta holding his position nice and steady right now, chasing down Michael Ostiak. Jackson Lewis doing his best right now to hold off an angry Tanner Berg, as Berg currently down 6 positions. He started in 4th position. Biggest mover of the night right now, Ty Fredrickson in the 36, up 21 positions. With 12 to go now, we can hear everybody hitting that rev limiter coming down the front stretch as they are pushing these cars to the limit. Gary Eschen wants his lead back as he's down 6 positions after coming down pit road on lap 98. He looks to the inside of Corey Rogers in the 17. Rogers not trying to give up that position easily, but with 11 to go, it's definitely go time. Eschen trying to work his way past Rogers, as Rogers trying to hold his own, but all of a sudden they're both being challenged out by Brandon Wilkinson, as Wilkinson wants to get in on this dance. And they make contact, Wilkinson and Eschen do, coming down the front stretch. Rubbin is racing, but that was pretty violent, as that's going to move Eschen out of the way and force him to the high side. Tristan Swanson holding his own. Swanson now with a half-second lead over Scotty Gardner. So he is basically set here as long as nothing crazy happens with these 6 to go. That could be the way that it finishes. Swanson, Gardner, and Ostiak. Looking to the inside of Corey Rogers is Gary Eschen and Brandon Wilkinson in the 56. Wilkinson looking to make it 3 wide if he has to. 5 to go now here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. With Brandon Wilkinson, making contact with Gary Eschen once again. Almost like a flint and a strike wheel on a Zippo lighter. We're going to see sparks fly, that's for sure. As the tempers have got to be flaring. 4 to go now. Scotty Gardner running P2, Michael Ostiak in 3. And that puts Tristan Swanson here in P1 with now a 3/4 of a second gap over Scotty Gardner. The 18 of Michael Ostiak looking for P2 as he nearly spins the 9 out. Popsicle sticks in the air. We're 2 to go. This battle's where it's at. It looks like Ostiak is willing to do anything it takes to get past Scotty Gardner. Ostiak does just that. He works his way past Scotty Gardner. Scotty going to be shuffled back to 3 as we are under caution with 2 to go. That will engage NASCAR overtime. I'm afraid Brandon Wilkinson may have finally pushed his luck too far doing battle alongside Gary Eschen. We can see Eschen getting ready to dive it in here with the 17. Wilkinson, though, lurking. The 516. I'm sorry, the 510 of Anthony Donta spinning out. Let's see what happened here. See if maybe we can get a better perspective from our blimp cam that was just hovering right above this. As we can see Scotty getting loose, the 510 looking to see if he can maybe put this 3 wide. He can't and gets spun out almost instantly by Ty Fredrickson, and he catches the 56 of Brandon Wilkinson, and that'll certainly change things. Well, something Tristan Swanson didn't want to see was Gary Eschen that close to the front, as Gary Eschen going to be restarting in 4th position with 3 to go. And we just watched Eschen doing battle for the last several laps with Brandon Wilkinson, as Wilkinson shuffled all the way back to 14th position, just ahead of now the lead lap car of Alex Papini, who has battled his way back onto the lead lap, as he played the patience game, that's for sure. Glad to have all of you with us in the youtube.com live chat. And of course, watching us on YouTube and Facebook here on Sim Racing Media. Tristan Swanson, our race leader, as we are in NASCAR overtime. And what that means, folks, is that once that green flag waves, we're going to race back around the racetrack. When they take the white flag, the next flag will end the race, whether it's yellow or checkered. If a caution should come out before the white flag waves, we will rack them, stack them, and do it all over again after another set of pace laps. So some of these drivers who have not been down for a long time have to start wondering about fuel mileage. They've got to start wondering about tire grip, as Tristan Swanson hasn't been down pit road since lap number 60. Right now, the freshest tires in the bunch is Gary Eschen, who came down to lap number 98. As the pace truck dives down, NASCAR overtime engaged. Swanson bouncing out of turn 2 and onto the backstretch. With 2 to go now, the popsicle stick's in the air, and the caution flag is out, and we will go back to NASCAR overtime. We'll see what happened here with Christopher Rogers. Not to be confused with Mr. Rogers or Christopher Robin. Christopher Rogers here in the 00, just behind DJ Smith on the restart. Gets a nudge from Brian Sierkeska. Gets that nudge and spun around. And that will end as we only had one NASCAR overtime session. So this race will end under caution as Tristan Swanson going to bring home the checkered flag in week number 1 here of the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series. And the Greg Freeman 125. He'll be followed by Michael Ostiak and Scotty Gardner on the podium as drivers have to get around the field. The pace truck leading them back to pit road. But Tristan Swanson has survived the mayhem at Nashville as he sees longtime race leader Gary Eschen just squirt by as he is going to burn it down here in the Music City. Waiting for Tristan to come in here to the Discord channel, get himself all lined up here in the green room. As I do believe that we do have Tristan Swanson, tonight's race winner in the Greg Freeman 125. Hey, Tristan, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me? Hey, Tristan, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got me? Stand by here. Let's see if we can fix that. Hey, Tristan, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, I got you.
There you are. Hey, man, listen, great run tonight for you, sir, in the 91. I mean, take us through these last 50 laps. I mean, you know, you really battled your way up to the front, kind of got shuffled up there, and, of course, the green-white checker situation just granting you the win.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely just all strategy this race, you know, trying to come down pit road early on, just pick up some fuel, and then pick up tires when we felt the time was right. So ended up being in the right spot, right time, because we knew we had the strategy pretty calculated, pretty good, and we knew the top 3 cars in front of us needed a pit eventually. So our hope was just to stay there, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've already got your first win of the season now under your belt. So, I mean, looking forward, you know, in the schedule, what are we thinking as we get ready to go on down to Southern National next week?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna try to keep up with the same momentum. It's gonna be all about strategy every single race this year. So, especially with these new cars. But just gotta thank Elite Performance Industries, Justin Brooks Designs for giving me a cool looking race car every week, and EPI for giving me a fast race car.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations on the win. We'll see you next week at Southern National, and good luck the rest of the way, man.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All righty. That, of course, the voice of race winner Tristan Swanson, driver the number 91. Next, and certainly somebody that I was waiting to hear from all night long. I got to talk to him last season. Hey, Michael Ostiak, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Hey, man, listen, great to hear your voice again this season as you've already nabbed your first podium finish. Take us through this race. I mean, this was quite a run tonight.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was an interesting run. We barely made it. We were the last car on the bubble to make it in the show. Honestly, it was just set on kill mode at first, just trying to pass as many cars because I knew it would kind of even off. Regardless, it's kind of tough to pass in these cars with all the grip it has, and just being everyone has the same setup, so you got to keep that in mind. But overall, it was good. We got up to the third place, kind of putting pressure on Kraus and Eschen, and when the time came, I was thinking I got a pit, and I ended up pitting. I think I was the only one to come down, and just kind of used what I could. Once I when the tires are good, you got to use it. So that's what we did, and we were able to get to second as that green, white, checkered yellow was coming out at the end there.
Yeah, at that point, the man in the stand with the flags in his hand wasn't sure what to do, so he just took all of them and hurled them out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking works for me, but I don't know what the hell I was doing on that last restart. Kind of bumped Tristan, not really necessarily on purpose, but just trying to use up as much as I can to, once we go, right? And just kind of minimize that gap best we can. So overall, it was a good night. Had a lot of fun, kept the nose clean, and looking forward to hopefully, these races just getting cleaned up a little bit. Usually that's how it is week one, and, the way it was last year, I think it's going to be a good show the rest of the way.
Absolutely. All right, my man. Well, listen, congratulations on the first podium finish of the 2023-24 campaign. Who do you need to thank before we cut you loose tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I got on my car in iRacing, but my real-life sponsors would be Chad Johnson Music and the Minnesota Transplants, Twin Cities Cannabis, Weichert Realtors, Heartland, Red Fox Tavern, Beach King Docks and Lifts, R&R Automotive, Gillen Enterprises with the Justice Brothers, performance, cans of Brake Clean, lube, and all that jazz, Refresh and Redesign, and Bachman Industries.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, we will see you next week at Southern National. Go ahead and enjoy this podium finish, and I look forward to watching you guys the rest of the way.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Well, as my late broadcast partner would say, another one in the books here in the AllProSim Winter Heat Challenge Series. The Greg Freeman Memorial 125 has been put to bed for the evening. But I'll tell you what, the season just getting started here. So we're excited to have everybody on iRacing.com keep an eye on this league. And, of course, you folks out there on YouTube.com. Tristan Swanson brings home the checkered flag tonight. He's joined on the podium with Michael Ostiak and Scotty Gardner. Gary Eschen finishes in fourth position after leading for so many laps tonight. Ty Fredrickson finishes in fifth and rounds out your top five. Corey Rogers and Tanner Berg finish sixth and seventh, respectively, as Evan Hassler, DJ Smith, and Derek Kraus round out the top 10. Brian Sire-Keska finishes in 11th, while Anthony Donta finishes in 12th. Alex Papini, your chief cook and bottle washer here in the All-Pro-Sim League, finishes in 13th, while Christopher Rogers, not to be confused with Christopher Robin or Mr. Rogers, finishes in 14th. Brody Byer and Brandon Wilkinson finishes in 15th and 16th, while Josh Nelms, Jackson Lewis, Kevin Dillon, and Randy Sargent round out your top 20. And the best of the rest is led by Brett McCoy finishing in 21st, with Jeremy Bingham in 22nd, Danny Mann and Carter Nilsson in 23rd and 24th, while Trent Smith and Brian Hacker finish in 25th and 26th. Brent Edmonds finishes in 27th, and unfortunately somebody's got to do it, but coming in the final spot tonight, Jared Appel finishing 28th after just 23 laps in the books, finishing last in the field tonight. But I'm sure that will definitely change moving through the season. So for everybody here at Sim Racing Media, I want to welcome you once again to another season of All Pro Sim Racing right here on YouTube.com. I want to thank everybody for making us a part of their evening. And tomorrow, as you go through your day, just remember, you're special. You're the only one like you, and that's fine by me. Good night, everybody.